All right, today we're going to talk about a new force in AI that is seriously shaking things up. It's promising some absolutely top-tier performance for pennies on the dollar. But, and it's a big but, it comes with a backstory that you really need to hear. So just imagine for a second, what if you could get the power of something like GPT-4, the best of the best, but for literally 99% less? I mean, that sounds completely made up, right? Too good to be true. But that is the exact promise being made by a brand new challenger on the scene. And its name is DeepSeek. It's a hugely capable AI that's got everyone talking because of its raw power and its insane pricing. But it's also wrapped up in some controversy that we've got to unpack. So, to really get what DeepSeek is all about, you have to start at the beginning. Where did this thing even come from? Who's pulling the strings behind this wild new tech? This is where it gets really interesting. DeepSeek is from China, and it's not backed by some tech giant you've heard of. It's backed by a quantitative hedge fund named Highflyer. Now, that's a huge deal because it means they have access to an insane amount of computing power, and baked right into their DNA is a deep understanding of math and code, and that's exactly what their AI has become known for. So that brings us to the tech itself. I mean, how on earth is this company competing with, and sometimes even beating, behemoths like OpenAI and Google? Well, it all comes down to their secret sauce. You see, DeepSeek isn't just one thing, it's a whole suite of tools. They've got the V3, which is their all-around powerhouse, the one that goes toe-to-toe with the big dogs. Then they have R1, which is a specialist, a genius at logic and math. And then there's DeepSeek-Coder. Man, developers are absolutely raving about this thing, saying it's one of the best open-source coding assistants out there, period. So how are they so efficient? The magic trick here is something called mixture of experts, or MOE. Now, instead of one giant brain trying to solve every problem, think of it like a boardroom full of specialists. When you give it a task, it doesn't bother everyone. It intelligently routes the problem to only the experts who know how to solve it. It's a genius move that makes it super smart and super fast, all while using way less power. Okay, the tech is cool, for sure. But the real question is, how can you actually use it? Well, it turns out there are 3 totally different ways you can tap into the power of DeepSeek. And you've got some great options here. First, there's the simple path, a free website and a mobile app that feels just like using ChatGPT. Easy. Second, for all the developers out there, they have an API you can just drop right into your apps. But the third one, this is the big one for a lot of people, you can actually download the model and run it on your own computer, completely offline, giving you total privacy. Now, we've kind of danced around it, but let's get to the number one reason DeepSeek is making such massive waves. We have to talk about the price. And honestly, it is absolutely shocking. Just look at that number, 14 cents. That's what it costs to process 1 million tokens through their API. Now, a million tokens is about 750,000 words. That's like processing the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy for the price of, a handful of gumballs? This isn't just cheap, it's industry-breaking. And if that number doesn't fully sink in, this chart will. To do the same amount of work on OpenAI's best model GPT-4o, you're looking at around $5. DeepSeek isn't just a little bit cheaper, this is a complete demolition of the existing price structure. We are talking about a price drop of over 95%. It's just wild. Okay, incredible power, unbelievable price. You knew it was coming, right? There's always a catch. And with DeepSeek, the catch is a big one. It's all about privacy, security, and, geopolitics. And this right here is the fundamental choice you have to make. You can use their super cheap, super easy cloud API, but your data is going to be processed on servers in China. Or you can run it locally on your own machine for total privacy, but then you need a beefy computer, and you're responsible for your own security. That's the core dilemma. And let's be crystal clear about what that risk means. The source material spells it out perfectly. Because they're a Chinese company, they have to follow Chinese law. And that means any data you send through their API could, at least in theory, be seen by the Chinese government. Now, for a lot of businesses and individuals, that's just a complete non-starter. So after all that, the incredible power, the jaw-dropping price, and the serious privacy concerns, we get to the bottom line. Should you use DeepSeek? Well, like with most things, it really depends on who you are and what you're doing. So here's the green light. DeepSeek is an amazing option if you're a programmer who wants a killer assistant without breaking the bank. It's perfect if you're going to run it locally for a project where privacy is everything. Or if you're a developer building something that doesn't handle any sensitive information at all. In those cases, yeah, it's a total game changer. But on the other hand, you need to hit the brakes hard if this sounds like you. If you're dealing with sensitive personal data, financial info, or secret company stuff, just don't. If you have to follow strict data laws in the US or Europe, it's probably not for you. And if you absolutely cannot risk having your data accessed, then the Cloud API is simply off the table. And all of this leaves us with a really big, really important question. DeepSeek puts incredible power in our hands for a price we've never seen before. But it forces us to make a tough choice between what's cheap and easy and what's private and secure. And it makes you wonder, when it comes to AI, what price is actually too high to pay for power?